Hello, magical ones. Welcome to the Fairy Witch Vlog podcast. And today, Charcoal and I welcome you and thank you to our new subscribers. That is so cool. Thank you so much. And we welcome all of you for watching today. And we hope you'll enjoy it. And to recap who I am and what I do, I am a knitter, I am an artist, I am a fairy craft magic practitioner, and sculptor, designer, uh, sketcher, gardener, the list goes on. So you never know what you're going to get. And today, what you're going to get is Charcoal and I are going to invite you into the kitchen to do a little fairy witchery, which you can use a couple of items you can make and create for your dark fairy day or aka Halloween party this year. So we hope you will enjoy these couple little things, and we Charcoal's excited and just can't wait to get in there and do this. So we are going to make cookies and we are going to make eyeballs. So we hope you'll join us. And so let's let's go to the kitchen. Yeah. Okay, so we are in the kitchen, and I hope you can hear me. I'll try to get as close as I can to the camera. I'm sorry I don't have an extra microphone, so I got to do the best I can. But this is the little eyeballs that you'll be making. Just the little cherry eyeballs, and they can be a great little snack as a dessert, or it could be a little appetizer. But it's very cute and it's very simple. So again, two key elements right there. So little eyeballs. So what you're gonna do, what you need. Whoops, I need it to not fall over. What you need is a bag of I have to say, mini chocolate chips, toothpicks, a jar of maraschino cherries, and you can get the red ones, you can get the green ones, you could get the jumbos, you can get the standard size, you can get a big jar, you can get the little jar. It's up to you what you want to do. And then you need a spoon, and you need a canister of white icing. I'm using whipped icing at the moment, the little canister. You can use regular icing, doesn't matter. Uh, the regular one might hold the chip a little bit better than the whipped ones here, but I use the whipped for cakes and stuff, so that's what I keep on hand. So I'm using what I've got today. So to make these little eyeballs, you're just real simple. You're going to take a toothpick and a maraschino cherry. If you got the cherries with the stems, that's okay. Just pluck the stem off. And these have the stems. So I'm going to pull the stem off carefully so I don't drip everything all over the place. Try not to break your cherry. Mine just broke. Oh well, gonna need another one. Hazards are working in the kitchen. You eat the samples. Well, I mean, you gotta test it out, right? And you can't have the spoiled ones lying around. Okay, so you're gonna take your cherries and rinse them off. Just rinses off some of the juice. Then you're gonna put the cherry on the stick carefully. Not all the way through, you just want it to stick on. Then you're going to take your icing and your spoon. Now you can use a cooker or baking brush, a baking artist brush, and you could just brush it on. That way you can make it as thick and as round as you want. Make it as, a little more detailed if you want to. Me, I'm fudging because I don't want to use my paintbrushes right now. I'm going to just use the spoon, and I'm just going to dab. Hope you can see. Just going to dab it on the top carefully. I don't want to push the stick through the cherry anymore. And I'm just going to going around and around, kind of like a whipped cream. And then you take a chocolate chip. Remember minis, you want the minis. They're the really tiny baby, you can just barely see it. And you're going to take the point, the little point. I can't hold it any better, sorry. The little point, that little point is going to go on the inside. So you're going to go this way onto the icing and just gently tap it in. And there you go. Okay? Really simple. I'm going to do another one for you. Feel free to write this down if you want to. So let's see, why don't we do the cherry first? So take the cherry out. Gotta grip it. They're so slippery. Okay. Pull the stem off. Rinse or just dry it. I'm just gonna dry it. Got a little towel here. I'm gonna rinse the little, or dry the little syrup off. Stick. I need a stick. Toothpick. Put it through. Just a little bit. Keep in mind that the juice, as well as good as it tastes, you make good Shirley Temples with the juice. Yeah, you can save your juice, by the way. Save the jar with the liquid. You can use it with Sprite or 7-Up. Make yourself a Shirley Temple. I might do a video of that sometime. Anyways, I'm going to take my icing and I'm going to get the camera for you here. I'm going to swirl it on as best I can. Gently. Don't want to push it through. Just putting it on the top. Nope. Take a chocolate chip. And like I say, the point, the little pointed edge goes into the icing first. That way it's just the longer, flatter side shows up better. And so then it looks more like the little pupil, you know. And there you go. You got your little cherry eyeball. Cute, huh? I've been doing these for years. I used to do a Halloween party every year and a little dinner party for friends and family and stuff. So I used to make these every year. And it's only this year, now that I'm doing this video, that I actually figured out to do it neater. And I think all those years I made it really messy and just stuck the chip in. Now I figured out, swirl it on to make it more like a circle, and then put the little one. Don't use the big chip. I was using the big chips too. Use the little one. It makes it look cuter. It doesn't make it look more like an eyeball. So, yeah, all my party guests all those years had to look at those really ugly ones. They tasted good, but they didn't look as good as this one. So, yeah, I taught myself something new, right? Even in our old age, we could figure it out. Anyway, so this is the little cherry eyeball. Very cute little snack. And it tastes good. Okay. So next thing we're going to do are cookies. Chocolate chip Halloween cookies. I'm going to clear this first. I'm going to get set up. And I'll be back with you in a couple minutes. Okay, so I'm back with you, and I think I'm getting ready here. So I've got a recipe, and I have to keep referring to it because even though I've made this recipe several times, I don't have it by memory. So we're going to do it together. Feel free to write it down if you want to. And this is not my recipe. I got this one off the internet, and I don't remember where. Unfortunately, I didn't write it down. That's not usual, but I goofed. This paper towel here. Okay, so, yeah, and I didn't write it down. I do believe I got it off the internet at some point. It might have been Food Network, maybe. Maybe? Let me see. There's some print at the top of this. Nope, it's on something else. I thought it was on that page, but it's not. I think I got it off the internet. I just don't remember what website. It might have been Food Network, which is really good for recipes, so you can always go there to find something really great. I'm not sure. I didn't write it down. Oh well. Okay. Anyway, so we are going to make chocolate chip dark fairy day cookies. So first thing you want to get is you need to have some baking pans. And I've got a couple here. They're old, but they work. And you need some non-stick cooking spray. So I'm going to spray the pan. Okay. All right. Okay, the next thing is, okay, I'm going to need a little bowl and a stick of salted butter. Okay, so I got a stick of butter, and this manufacturer, this butter that I buy, they actually have a nice thing on here where it has a label, so it tells you how many teaspoons, like cut here for 1 teaspoon, cut here for 6 teaspoons. That's kind of cool. I wish all of them did that, but I forget which company this is. I take them out of the box. But anyway, it's salted butter, 1 stick, and this equals out to being half a cup or 8 teaspoons. And you just unwrap it, stick it in a bowl, and I stick it in the microwave for about a minute. You gotta watch it because it will bubble and it might overflow the bowl, so you gotta keep an eye on it. So I'm gonna move the camera so I can get to the microwave, and I gotta get this out of the way. Oop. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna put this in the microwave. I'll actually take you off camera because it might be a little loud. So I'm going to pause you for a second. Okay, so that melted. I can't show it to you because it's running. There we go. Okay, melted in about 60 seconds. So the next thing you want to get is, we need a bowl. Let me grab a cup. You're going to need 2 bowls, actually. Okay. So first bowl. This one contains, okay, use the bigger bowl. Use the bigger bowl for this one. Okay, so what I want to do is I got a big bowl here. It's actually bigger than I need, but that's okay. It's all I got available at the moment. Alright, so first thing first is, you melted your butter, hold it for a minute, got a bowl, ready to go. So then we're going to add a 3/4 cup brown sugar. Let me grab my measuring cup, which is somewhere. There we go. Okay, brown sugar. It's a fresh bag, so I gotta open it carefully. Otherwise it gets all over everything. Okay, so carefully. 3/4 cup sugar, brown sugar. Hey, Charcoal, what you doing, huh? Because I'm roaming around, checking it out. I got a little fairy magic cooking going on, baking going on. I just want to smell it and move on. Thankfully, she's not a scavenger. Okay, so we've got, it's pretty full. You can pack it to the top. I'm almost to the top. I'm close, but this is a 3/4 cup brown sugar. Okay, in we go. Let's put that to the side. Gotta keep your workspace clean and where you can get to everything. Okay, so the next thing is another 3/4 cup, but it's regular granulated white sugar. And I have that. Open up. Yeah. Okay. Pretty full in the bowl. Okay. Let's put that back. Okay, next thing is you need 2 eggs. So, there we go. One little eggie. Break it up. Drop it in. Another one. Bonsai. There we go. Number 2. No, I didn't mean it that way. Whoops. No, I'm not starting the morning off with any dirty, disgusting jokes. That was an accident. Okay. Alright, next thing is you want 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. So I'm going to find my spoon. And you can use imitation or real. Generally, I have to get what I can afford and what our stores carry, and that's usually imitation. And it works just fine. And it's only a teaspoon. A lot of it burns out anyway. You don't even taste it. But it calls for it. So I do it. Okay, so I've got a little new. Okay. Oh. Actually, I already have an open one. So I'm going to finish off the open bottle before starting the new one. So let's do this. Okay, and I believe... don't you just hate it, these manufacturers or these measuring cups and these measuring spoons? They put the measurement on there, but it's the same color as the rest of it, and you cannot read it unless you're under bright light and got glasses on or a magnifying glass. It's so annoying. Knitting needle companies. When I get into my knitting videos, people, I'm going to be bitching about that too, just to warn you. That's one thing that drives me crazy. The knitting needle companies do the same thing. They stamp the size which you need to have on the needle. It's important, but if you can't read it, you don't know what you got. And I hate it. I wish they would make them either bigger and brighter or bigger and a different color so that you can read the freaking thing. Okay, off my soapbox. But it annoys me because you can't read it. Anyway, so I need a teaspoon. I've got a teaspoon. Alright, here we go. Let's dump this sucker in here. Alright, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract in. I don't know what the kitties were just doing, but something rumbled. Oh well. Okay. Moving on. I'm going to rinse this. Alright, next step is the butter. So the butter is already melted, as you remember, in the bowl. And we're just going to pour it in. There we go. Okay. So then you're going to need a whisk. Gotta get one. Okay. Doesn't matter which size whisk. You can use the big sucker or you can use the little one. Just need a whisk, and you're just gonna, yeah, not whisk it all over the computer. Jeez. Oh, man. To quote a good line that just comes to me as I'm thinking of this. Yeah, as I was cleaning this, I put you on pause, and then it just came back on again because I hit it again. Anyways, I was saying one good line that I got from a movie, which is so funny, and reminds me of this moment, is the Dolly Parton movie when she says, "Oh gosh," and she spilled her coffee all over, and she's on the radio, and she goes, "I wish you could see how messy I am." She goes, "I'm busier than a one-legged man in a butt kicking contest." A good line. I like that one. That's kind of how I feel at the moment. Name of that movie is Straight Talk, by the way, and it's funny. Anyway, okay, I'm going to try to do this without splashing anymore on the computer. I see a couple things I gotta wash later, but if I try to do it now, I'm probably going to disconnect the video, so I have to clean it after I turn it off. Okay, so I'm whisking, and I'm going to do it this way so I don't splash. And you kind of want to press in the brown sugar because it can lump up. So you need to flatten that as best you can. If it won't work with the whisk, just do a flat end of a spoon and kind of press. And you just keep whisking it until everything is wet. Everything is like a golden caramel color. Charcoal, what are you doing out there? I can hear you. Now she's making noise. The cats today. Everybody's rowdy. Alright, so. Okay, so you see it's a golden color. It's runny, but it's good. Obviously, Tiger or Spice did not agree with that. Not that it's any of your business, kitty. You're not getting cookies. There's gonna be a fight. It's a territory fight. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to move this out of the way because I need counter space. Grabbing the other bowl. Alright, so. One moment. Okay, yeah, Tiger and Spice are going to go at it, unfortunately. All I can do is close the door. We might end up still hearing them, but hopefully not. Anyway, okay, so next thing is the dry ingredients. They go in the second bowl. So you need 2 1/4 cups of flour. So we need a cup for 2 cups. Let me grab that. Okay. Actually, I think this is only 1 cup, is it? Is it 1 cup? Cup. Yeah. Well, that didn't work, huh? Get it together. Okay, here's my 2 cup. Okay, that could be another dirty joke, but I didn't mean it that way. Oh, man. Okay. I'm grabbing the flour now. Alright, so we have, I think, just enough for 1 in here. I'll have to open the bag. I gotta open the bag. Okay, I'll do that off of camera because that could be noisy too. Be right back. Okay, I'm back, and so we've got, get my flour out of the way here. Okay, so I got my 2 cups of flour. It's all-purpose flour. So I'm going to pour it in a bowl. Okay. Alright, so then the next thing is we need a 3/4 tablespoon of baking soda. Okay, so I got my baking soda. Kitties are meowing. And I've got a 1/4 teaspoon. I'm going to use it 3 times. And I'm going to just 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, that was baking soda. Let's move that out of the way. Okay, so then the next thing is 1 teaspoon of salt. Salt. A teaspoon of salt. Okay. And then something that I add to the recipes that it didn't call for, but I use it every time, is just a little bit of baking powder. The baking powder seems to add a little more moisture to them so they don't get as hard, and crunchy as quickly. And and plus it, keeps them a little bit softer for a while. So I usually add a little bit. So normally I just kind of guesstimate by eye, but because I'm showing you, I will go ahead and just, I think I usually use, today I'll use a half teaspoon. And this is baking powder. And you just put it into the dry ingredients. There we go. Okay. So I always add that. I add it to my cakes too. And it helps. It just kind of keeps things a little bit fresher and a little bit more moist a little bit longer. Just my thing. Okay, so now I've got all the dry ingredients. I need the whisk again, which has been waiting patiently, and the wet ingredients. And I'm just going to whisk it. Do it carefully, otherwise it's going to puff up and fly all over everything. So you just kind of whisk it together. Yeehaw. Okay, just a couple minutes. Nothing major. Okay, then at that point, I'm going to combine the bowls together. So I'm going to bring over the wet ingredients, and I'm going to pour in the dry ingredients. Or whichever bowl you're using that's bigger. So like what I just did, the wet ones were already in the big bowl. The dry ones were in the smaller bowl, so it made more sense to pour it all into the bigger bowl. You want to do the same thing. So if your dry ingredients were in the big one, pour the wet ones into the bigger bowl. Just that way you less spillage and everything's in there together. Oh, I don't need that. I don't need the whisk. I need a big spoon. That's what I need. It's not a big spoon. This is a bigger spoon. We'll use that. Okay, so then you just blend them together. This can take a few minutes. And you just want to keep mixing all the in until all the dry ingredients are blended in with the wet ones. And if it's done right and everything is blended well, then this is going to get thick, and it gets a little bit harder to mix it, which is what's happening. Believe me, with hand injury and shoulder injuries, which I had to endure years ago, and still feel the effects of, that kind of movement and it can actually hurt. But it's the only way you can do this. You gotta keep mixing. You gotta keep blending. I cannot grip this. Yeah, years ago I had a hand accident. I was working with a table saw. Yeah, I know. Probably some of you are going, oh. Yeah. Believe me, I was doing that too after my fingers were cut off. Yeah, not good. But I did have surgery and they put them back on. The only thing is, they don't bend anymore. And I've had to learn to use my other 3 fingers. And of course, I'm right-handed. It's my right hand that had the injury. Good one. But anyway, yeah. And the shoulder, that injury came later. But anyway, I'm doing what I can. Okay, it looks like a couple of little brown sugar knobbies did not blend, so I'm going to pull them out. They just clump up sometimes and you can't press them down because they're just too hard. That's okay. When they cook, they usually blend in well, so bake, so you don't have to worry about that. But still, when you're mixing. Okay, so it is like a thick. It's a thick paste now. So thick paste, kind of. So that's the consistency. Tastes okay. Good. Alright, so the next thing I want to do. Okay, there's 2 ways you could do this. Okay, if you want to make it a little more formal, you want to take a few more minutes, I would suggest getting, get 2 small bowls, divide up the batter into the 2 bowls, okay? Then you're going to take and we're going to do black and red. So you're going to get, so I got my black and red food coloring. So you could do 2 bowls for 2 different colors, okay? So one bowl, you're going to put a little bit of black in and mix it up until they're all black. Then you're going to do the same with the red in the other bowl, okay? And then you leave those 2 batters, and then when you're ready to put them on the baking pan, then you can scoop out a little bit of the black and a little bit of the red, put them together like a sandwich, flatten it like a sandwich, and then put it on the baking pan. And then when they bake, they may not be perfect, but you're going to get half black and half red cookies. You can do that. Me, I'm going to go the easy route. So, I'm just going to combine, but very carefully and a little bit at a time, because the black is so dark, it's going to overlap the red. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the black first, and I'm going to drip a couple in here. Carefully. 1, 2. Then I'm going to take the red. Same thing. 1, 2. Okay, that's not a lot of color, but it may be just enough. So then what I'm going to do is, and I'm going to lower the camera here, is I'm going to kind of swirl it as best I can. And if I leave it like this, it'll look kind of like a confetti drop, you know, kind of little spots cookies. So you still get the color of the batter, but there's going to be like little tiny dots of color throughout the batter. So I'm trying to think, do I want to leave it like that, or do I want to go bolder? Usually I go bolder. Alright, so we're going to add a little bit more red. Okay, that one ended up being a little runny, so I got like 3 drops on that one. Ooh, yuck. It looks red. It looks bloody. Okay, so we're gonna keep combining it. They're turning redder. Ugh, this batter is thick. Makes it hard to do this. Okay, they're turning red, which is actually kind of cool. And more of a pinky red. But I'm losing my black, so I'm going to add a little bit more. 2 drops. Let's see what happens. Probably is just going to darken it up. Let's see. Come on. Blend, sucker. Blend. Let's go. Okay. Well, it's red, but it's got like black, light black ribbons going through it. Which isn't bad. It's kind of a cool look. It's not exactly what I was going for. See, it's kind of hard to tell on the camera with the light. I'm sorry, but it's still, it doesn't. All right, couple more red blacks. Here we go. 3 more drops. Let's see what happens. I just want at least a little more black ribbing going through it. Ribboning. Okay. It's just turning it redder and redder. Weird. Okay. But you know what? I'm good. I'm afraid to mess with it too much. I really don't want to go crazy on this. Okay, it's still alright. It still works. It's a darkened kind of intestinal red. Ugh. Anyway. Okay. So now I got the food coloring. Now I need to get the chocolate chips. And this is just a bag of semi-sweet chocolate chips. Reasonable price bag. It's the regular size. It's not the minis, it's the regular size. Also, too, I forgot to mention, so that reminds me, we're still in the same video, so that works. On the eyeballs that we did earlier on this video, you want semi-sweet chocolate chips, the minis for those. These are the semi-sweet regular size. And I'm just going to pour the whole friggin' bag in there. Hey, you can never have too much chocolate. That's right. Okay, so I'm going to blend this in as best I can. Come on. Do it. Do it. I don't want to. Make me. I'm trying. Oh, heavens. Oh, the spoon feels like it's trying to bend because all the pressure from the dough. Or it's a cheap spoon, which is probably the case. I've had these things for years, so who knows? Oh. Okay, so we've got chocolatey chips in the dough. Okay, so, and you gotta test it. You know, the trials and tribulations of baking. Yep. Tastes normal, tastes right. Okay. Alrighty. Let me grab my towel. Okay. Okay, you want to set your oven at 375 degrees. And I need to bring the pan over here, so I'm going to move this out of my way. And I'm going to get that in the trash. Okay, I got my baking pan. Now this part can be fun, but it can be messy, so it's up to you what you want to do. If you're making these with your kids, they'll probably love sticking their fingers in. Just make sure you wash first. So you can scoop it out in your hands, roll the dough into a ball as best you can, and place it on. Me, I don't want to get that mucky right now, so I am just going to use the 2 spoons unless it really doesn't want to work. If it don't, then I gotta do it the other way. So I'm gonna take 2 spoons, and I'm just gonna scoop it out off the 1 spoon onto the pan as best I can. Try to make them as, they usually look like little rounded nuggets by the time I get done. I never managed to make the cookies look perfectly circular like they do in the commercials. They always make them look so beautiful in the commercials and bakeries and stuff. Mine never come out that way. They taste good, but they never come out perfectly circular and that perfectly flat look. You know, you've seen it. Yeah, I don't know how they do that because it don't work for me. But I'm not a professional baker or chef, so there's the difference. They know all those tricks. I don't. But I couldn't afford to go to Cordon Bleu, and all of those cooking schools. I wish I had, though. I do wish. That's one of the regrets now. I do wish that I had gone to like a culinary or a baking school. I do wish I'd done that. But when I was younger, my ambitions were to be a singer and a dancer. So I was inundated with music lessons, piano lessons, dancing classes. I was in 2 different choirs at the same time for years trying to learn. I never had a professional dance teacher, you know, at a really good, reputable school. Not like going to Juilliard or something, you know. I didn't do that, couldn't afford that, but yeah, I just, and then I got so tired of the piano lessons. I just didn't feel the music anymore with the piano. I just didn't want to. And so I gave up the piano lessons. And then soon after I started giving up, I gave up the dance classes, to which I'm sorry I did. I should have kept on with that because even if I never became a professional, I still would have the exercise, and I wish now that I had, because I'd be in a lot better physical shape at this point if I had. So I do regret that. but can't do everything, right? And then after that, I started losing momentum with the singing. So I gave up the choirs. And so the music ended up going by the wayside. But by giving up the music, I finally decided, well, I'm going to look into art. So I started taking art classes. That ended up being my college major, and I ended up, that's why I'm still doing art today, whereas I'm not doing the others so much anymore. I definitely don't play the piano. With my fingers, I probably couldn't. I would have to figure out some way to work that out. But, yeah. Okay. So this spooning thing is taking forever, right? So what I'm gonna do, and because I'm gonna get dirty, I'm gonna put you on pause so I could finish. Then I gotta wash my hands before I handle the computer. So I will be back, and we'll be right with you. So I'm back, and we are ready to go. And I've got my cookies on the baking sheets, and they go in at the oven. I decided for 375 degrees for, I believe it's, let's check. It says 12 to 16 minutes. Generally, I put it in for, I think I usually put them in around 12 to 13 minutes and check them. If they are starting to look rounded, they're starting to look, like they're puffing and they're good, then I will take them out. If they still look really wet, they still have that kind of look, or they do look raw, because look at them, really look at it now. If they still look very similar to this, put them in for another 3 to 4 minutes and then check them again. If you want to be crunchy and want them to be a little more on the crisper side, then yeah, you could just put it in for the 16 minutes. But I don't like mine burned. I don't like mine crusty. I like the soft. So I try to do like the minimal amount. And then if I have to keep adding on, I just do a couple minutes at a time until it looks good, until it's right consistency. Then I pull them out. So it's up to you. But I'm going to put them in. And you, buddies. Okay. Now we're going to set the timer for, we're going to do 13 minutes, and then we will check them and go from there. Okay, we just got 5 more minutes. The cookies are still in the oven baking, so just keeping an eye on them. Thought I'd check back with you for a minute, and I got to go feed the kitties outside, and we'll be right back, and we'll see it in 4 minutes and 44 seconds. Okay, so I'm back. The cookies are done. They're plated. And even though the red food coloring didn't, or the black food coloring didn't do what I wanted it to do, it did darken it a bit so it wasn't a bright red. And, they do look, ooh, warm. They did, the chocolate's hot. It did darken it, so it's like a really dark, like I say, kind of an intestinal pink. So, yeah, it's still kind of Halloweeny, but if you want more black, be more daring and go for it, I was just more careful today. But, yeah, so we've got our chocolate chip cookies, and we've got our little cherry eyeballs. So, whoop, there we go. Cherry eyeballs, they're looking at you. They're following you. You feel like you're being watched. Oh well. Anyway, okay. So there is some treats for you for your dark fairy day, as I call it, or it's typically Halloween. And I hope that, you'll find these things to be fun. Hope you'll find that your guests will like it. and it's, it's great to do with the family for the kids, and and you can't go wrong with cherries, chocolate, and chocolate chips, cookies. So you got a winner, I think, on your hands. So anyway, I thank you so much for tuning in and watching this. I hope you liked it. And again, thanks for checking out my vlog. And if you're a new subscriber, thank you so much. If not, maybe you'll think about subscribing. If you'd like to donate to the channel, that would be fabulous. I'd really appreciate it because that would really help me right now. And so the PayPal link is in blue writing underneath the channel name. Just click on that. It should take you right to it. If not, you can copy, paste, and put it in your search bar and go from there. So, and if you do decide to donate something to us, that would be so great. We'd really appreciate it. Just add a little note on to the money that you are donating. And I thank you. And I would message you back. If it lets me, I'll message you back. If not, I'll be saying it here. So thank you for tuning in. Have a fairy day. We'll see you in the next one. Have a good time. Bye.